New Thought Media Network. We are a global broadcast network of positive music, media, and entertainment, inspiring humanity's evolution along the journey of enlightenment and creating a world of love, peace, empowerment, and prosperity for all. New Thought Media Network. Positively inspiring. New Thought Media Network proudly presents the Science of Mind Saturday Conversations. Learn more about the Science of Mind philosophy, faith, and way of life. Join our team of experts for a weekly deep dive discussion. Come study the science of mind, chapter by chapter, and resources from the Science of Mind archives. Plan to join us every Saturday, 9 a.m. Mountain Time, only on the New Thought Media Network.
Well, hello there. Good morning. I am Reverend Michael Mangus. I'm one of the staff ministers here at your New Thought Media Network, and it's really good to see everyone today for our Saturday morning conversation, and that we get to talk from my most favorite book in the world, which is the Science of Mind text. Today, we're going to be covering the general summary, again, chapter 24, pages 390 to 423. And this is week 2. I thought I'd change that. Week 2 of 3. And the reason we're doing this is because we want you to get different perspectives from different teachers about the science of mind and spirit. That's the official name of it. So again, general summary. So get out your Science of Mind textbooks, if you have one. And you can get it also on Kindle too. But we'll be starting at page 390. It's good to see everyone. I'm seeing that we have a few folks with us this morning. Hello there. Let's check the comments here. Okay, Wayne, I need you getting out your Science of Mind textbook today if you're going to join us. All right? No silly stuff today. Let's get some questions about the science of mind and spirit today. All right. So, all right. I am going to show you now a symbol which most of you are pretty familiar with, and there you go. So, if you wonder why that in a lot of Centers for Spiritual Living or even independent religious science churches, you'll see this symbol. This is referred to as the teaching symbol. It is, again, there's nothing mystical about it, but it's used to, again, that, and there is some symbolism in there, some mystical symbolism. But Ernest Holmes meant this, again, to be a tool to go ahead and to teach the science of mind. So before I read from 390, okay, you can't see my little arrow there, but if you take a look at the circle, that symbolizes that there's only one, with 3 distinct aspects that are not only universal, but also individual. The macrocosm versus the microcosm. So as I read through from page 390, see if you can locate on the chart here what I'm talking about, and then I'll come back and explain a little bit more later. Okay. All right. The general summary on 390, it says, the mind of man is some part of the mind of God. Therefore, it contains within itself unlimited possibility of expansion and self-expression. The conscious mind of man is self-knowing, self-assertive. It has volition. The word means choice, will, and may accept or reject. It is the only part of man's mind which can think independently of conditions. The subconscious mind of man is simply the law of mind in action. It is not a thing of itself, but it is the medium for which all thought action. It is the medium by which man may call into temporary being whatever he needs or enjoys on the pathway of his experience. The mind of God is infinite. The mind of man is some part of this infinite creative mind of God, and therefore the mind of man is as infinite as is man's capacity to understand his true relationship to God or Spirit. The mind of man is continuously unfolding into a greater realization of the real plan in the creative order of the universe. It does not yet comprehend its own power or scope, but it does know how, in some measure, to consciously cooperate with the infinite. Spirit is really the only mind that there is. It is eternal. It never began, nor will it ever cease to be. It is complete and perfect, happy and whole, satisfied, and at peace with itself. The spirit is the only conscious intelligence in the universe, and therefore it is the only directive intelligence in the universe. Because the mind of man is the mind of God in man, the mind of man is conscious and directive. It is to man what God is to the universal. God is spirit that is without parts. A universal unity and wholeness. God is mind. The self-knowing mind of God is the spirit of God, and at the same time, the spirit of man. Man in its self-knowing state is spirit. The mind of God and the mind of man is the same mind. The conscious mind of man is a part of the self-knowingness of the mind of God. The conscious mind of man is the self-knowingness of spirit operating through the thought of man. Hence, its creativity. That's quite a lot, huh? So take a look at our chart here. If you understand that, again, there's only one. There's only one. In the universal, it's the universal conscious mind or spirit. In the second portion or the middle portion is universal subjectivity, the mirror of the mind or the soul. And the unconscious form or the mirror of the mind, particularization. I said it this morning. Now, if you really want to impress your friends at your Science of Mind Center, ask them, what is the name of the V? It is the contemplator reflector. Contemplator reflector, and the descent of spirit. All right. So I will explain this in a couple of ways. So going back to the book of Genesis, it says, in the beginning, God or spirit spoke the word, which went into, again, an aspect of God, which is universal subjectivity or the soul, and then out comes whatever was asked for. So it's the thinker, the thought going into the soul or the subjective mind, and then coming out again, which needs direction. We'll talk more about that here in a moment. Another way of calling it is the law. And then particularization. That's form. So again, in the beginning, the word was spoken, it went into the law, and then out came the form. In the beginning, the word was spoken for light. Again, the mind of God, the law, or universal subjectivity says, okay, and out comes light. I know that's a simple form of that, but understand that this same teaching symbol is within you and me. Yes, we are not God, but we are one with it. We are God. Someone says we're God in drag, which I thought was an interesting way of putting it. But in the mind of man, what is in the universal is in the individual. Again, the conscious mind, subconscious mind in the middle, and then the events in our lives. So again, conscious mind, subconscious mind, and then form. All right. I've gone through a lot of science of mind here. But the whole idea is this. If you do not like your life the way it is, if you would like to better a certain portion of your life, you must give conscious direction to the law. And again, understand that conscious mind, subconscious mind, and also form, that is us. We, again, from the teacher Jesus, did not the prophets say that ye are gods? So we have the same creative ability. We were made in the image and likeness of our Creator. So if you want your life to get better, or if you want to make a part of your life better, or you want to experience again the peace of mind that passes all understanding, you must give direction to this great law of life, which is accessed through your subjective or subconscious mind within you. It's all one. And again, that we partake in the atmosphere of it. We are one with it. We are one with spirit. We are one with soul. We are one with, again, the results in our life. So we are in the miniature, what the universal is in the large, the macrocosm and the microcosm. So if you have any questions about this as we go on here, please go ahead and put them in the comments. I would love to talk to you about them. Again, on 391, again, and we were talking about this, the conscious mind of man, that part of or unity with the Supreme Spirit. So all of these aspects are our aspects. We are an expression of the universal as us, which enables man to be an individual unit, separate in identity without becoming separate from the whole spirit of God, the whole mind of God. The eternal has placed himself at the center of man's being in order that man may function individually. The discovery of this, the greatest truth about man, is the discovery of all the ages. So God's not out there. Well, God's out there. But within you, within me, is that divine spirit also. The divine spirit of God expressing as you and expressing as me. The reason that our lives sometimes have gotten so fouled up, and again, this is what brought me into the science of mind, is because that, again, that I'm blaming everybody else for all the things in my life without first taking a look at myself. So when I started to change my thought, again, the great law of life, or the mirror of the mind or soul, started to take those thoughts and to start reflecting them in my life. Again, the thinker, the thought, the law, the thing. Again, on 391, it says, it is this divine knowingness in man which distinguishes him from other creation. In other words, that we are aware enough, we are of the evolution enough to be able to understand that we can create our own reality, because we are the expression of God as us. And again, as we talked about, this is at the bottom of 391. It's 391.5. It says, the subjective mind of man is part of the universal subjective mind of God. It is a place where every man individualizes himself on the subjective side of life. So again, that we are in that atmosphere. We are one with it. We are the personalized expression of the universe as us. It is his use, or your use and my use, of the law of cause and effect. It is their use of the law of karma. Man's use, and this is 392, man's use of the universal law makes it appear as though his subjective mind were an entity of itself. Take a look back at your lives. The whole idea of being separate, or that the subjective mind or subconscious mind in us kind of runs things. Well, it does. But it runs things, again, on automatic, again, based upon sometimes faulty programming from society, from teachers, from religion. And again, in religion, the whole idea of, again, is that we are separate from the divine. Take a look at any churches. Again, the divine is up on the altar and we are out in the congregation. And then there's a meeting again in the middle when we partake of communion, or we partake of the Word of God or the Bible. So it is never, however, and this is one of the main points that we should remember, again on 392. It is not separate from the universal, but is, in a certain sense, the property of the individual in the universal. God and man are one, but God is greater than man. The whole is greater than the parts. On 392, it says, universal subjectivity is mind in an abstract and formless state. The quantum scientists call it potential or potentiality. That is, it's a potential energy and a latent power, which means that it is unformed. It exists in its original state, invisible, but potential with all possible forms. A creative universal energy waiting to be used, to be operated upon. Willing, but having no volition of its own. Ready, but having no initiative. Formless, yet ready to take form. So again, if you want your life to change, you have to consciously take hold of yourself and start giving definite direction to your subconscious mind, which is one with the universal, to create other conditions in your life. The reason sometimes that our lives are messed up, and I'm being nice about that because I'm on New Thought Media Network, The reason being is, again, that we were programmed, again, to believe a certain way. So what we're doing is we are dehypnotizing ourselves. We are aligning with the truth about us, which is that we are divine expressions of the universal. We are divine expressions of the universal. On 393, it says, the correct understanding that mind in its unformed state can be called forth into individual use is the key. This is the key to all proper mental and spiritual work from a practical viewpoint. To know that we are surrounded by such a creativeness is not enough. However, we must make use of this knowledge for definite purposes if we are to expect to make conscious use of the law for personal expression. So it's not good enough just to know this book. This book points the way to you. And if there's one thing that, again, as a minister and also a teacher of the science of mind, the one thing that I talk to my congregation here in Akron and also my clients is this: you must use this. You must use this. You must use this. Catherine Ponder said that she's the famous prosperity teacher. Dr. Catherine Ponder says that, again, there's too much head knowledge and not enough heart knowledge. So, again, we're studying the theory, but we want you to go ahead and, again, to practice that. I like what Linda says. He says, I really like this, Linda. Thank you. It says, practice makes progress. That's right. The only way that you're going to get, quote unquote, good at this is just by doing it. And also, it's also helpful to have a minister, a practitioner, a teacher to go ahead and just say, well, you know what? Yeah, I get your point, and that this is my observation. This is how that you could make it clear or better. On the bottom, 393 says, no form is permanent. Can we understand that? I know that we can touch it. I know that we can feel it. I know that we can notice it, but it's not permanent. It is a reflection of what is going on in us. So, all forms return into the formless. The formless is eternal. All form is temporary. Let's understand that. Now, what happens is that, again, that if you take a look again at our picture or our teaching symbol here, if you take a look, that what happens is that, and there should be a curved portion here. The curved portion means that everything returns unto spirit. So again, everything is energy. So when it's not needed anymore, now what happens is, again, the energy itself goes back into the universal. So it's temporary. So if it's temporary, then what that means is that if the outside is a reflection of what is going on in us, then what that means is this: we can change what is going on out there. Now, a lot of times people do this on diets, on trying to make their lives better, is that they change the outside first rather than change the inside. If you do not change the inside, then what happens is that, again, you go back to default. Another example is people who win a lot of money in the lottery. Unless you become a millionaire inside, first is that, and again, this has been what has happened with many lottery winners, millions and millions of dollars. If you're not a millionaire, a billionaire inside, that what happens is, again, that the money goes on. And there have been lottery winners who've had to declare bankruptcy after having millions of dollars in their hand. So that is why I'm saying today, if you want permanent change in your life, you must change the interior. You must consciously do this. And you must constantly do it on a daily basis until it becomes a part of your daily living. Holmes calls it embodiment. Going back to our wonderful book here. It says that we can tap the reservoirs of the universal mind through the use of our own thought. We can use this power for the healing of our physical body or for the changing and control of conditions around us. The reason being that both body and affairs are fluent. I know it feels real, but it can change. It can change. They are mind held in form. Let's go to 395 here. We are given, or by the necessity of our nature have, the power and the necessity of using law as though it existed solely for us. Isn't that cool? It goes into the direction in our mental affairs that we give it. So, what my teacher of blessed memory, Dr. Tom Senar, who was my science of mind teacher for many years, what he taught myself and his students was to commune with the presence and then command the law. Commune with the presence and then command the law. Why in that order? Is because that we can use the science of mind from our own human ego. What I have found is this: it's best to come from a place of oneness, to come from a place of power, and then not to create from the human ego, but to create from the Spirit of God as me, in me, and through me. How do you get in touch with that? It's by surrendering to that presence and power that's within you. Surrendering to it. And again, I know that some people say, well, surrender is bad. No, in this instance, surrender is good. We're on 395 here. It says, but so far as man is concerned, outside of the automatic and necessary functions of the universal mind, man and woman is free to do as they will, and the universal mind as law can know only about the individual, only what they know about themselves. The cosmic engine, and I like the word engine there, I think, and it's in the next paragraph. The cosmic engine is started, but man guides it in his own life. Can we get that? We guide it in our own lives. It goes for him in the direction in which it is driven. This driving is not by force, but by agreement, unification, and acquiescence. We must believe, you must believe, I must believe, we must believe. On this hangs all the law and the prophets. Heaven and hell are tied up in man's beliefs. It is the law of his life. We are divine whether we like it or not. Do you understand that? We are divine whether we like it or not. And we're constantly manifesting in our lives. So again, how real change happens is by consciously spending time each and every, and there's a portion of the general summary that says this. We must spend time daily embodying the life that we want. On the bottom 395, it clarifies this. It says, the engine of the subjective mind must be guided. The engine of the subjective mind must be guided. It is neither person, place, nor thing of itself. It is subjective to the desires of man, and consequently, it has for him only the power that he decrees it to have. So it's done unto you as you believe. If you believe it doesn't work, guess what? It doesn't work. That's an earlier part of the Science Mind textbook. But if you believe it does, it does. And again, that's based upon our belief. Let's see here. I'm going to go ahead and see what Linda says here. It says, over the past few weeks, I've been using the statement or affirmation, every breath is a new beginning. It brings me back to center no matter how much I have distracted myself. Yes, Linda. Every breath is a new beginning. Every breath is a new beginning. Let me add to that something. Every thought is a new beginning. Every thought can be a new beginning. Yes. Again, if you have a comment here, we have about 20 more minutes. Please go ahead and put it in the comments, and we'll do our very best to answer them. Mind as law is, we're on 396. Mind as law is helpless without direction. It has nowhere to go and nothing to do of itself. Now, Ernest Holmes in the Science of Mind textbook, you probably have heard me say this. Anytime that anything is bolded in bold font or is in italics, pay attention. Pay attention. It's Ernest Holmes' highlighter. This next sentence is all in caps. It says, it, the law, must be directed or it will do nothing of permanent worth for man. You must. Again, the whole idea of turning our minds over to spirit, becoming the divine ideas that we are. By surrendering to the spirit, then we think correctly to be able then to start putting the law in motion for our lives. And again, it does so as we believe. 397, the law of mind obeys the orders that it's given. The challenge is that, again, that a lot of the orders that are in the subjective mind, in our atmosphere, again, do not work for our lives. It may have worked back when we were children. It may have been what we were taught. It may be, again, generational. But again, awareness is awakened in you. You would not be here spending time with me on a Saturday unless, again, that you were ready to be awakened. And again, that what one of my teachers, again, of blessed memory, what he taught me was that we need to keep studying. We need to keep studying and we need to keep using. We need to keep studying and we need to keep using. On 398, hello, individuals who are with us today. See, we have a few folks there. Again, if you have a question, we would love to answer that. Again, we only have a few more minutes here. All right. 398. And I have stars next to them. It says, when we treat, we should be specific. Whatsoever things we desire, when we pray, we should believe that we have already have them. You already have them. I know possession is 9/10 of the law, but in spiritual law, that when you have it in consciousness, it's 100%. It's 100% possession. If we wish money, we should ask for or mentally accept money. If we wish a home, we should ask for or mentally accept a home. We can put as much detail into our mental work as we desire. Sometimes to do so will be of great service in gaining a complete mental acceptance of our desires. This is the whole secret, a complete mental acceptance and the embodiment of our desires. Next paragraph, it says, our mental acceptances should be filled with conviction and warmth and color and imagination. The creative power responds to feeling. It responds to feeling more quickly than to any other mental attitude. It's the thoughts that produce the feeling, and therefore we should try to feel the reality of what we are doing when we give a treatment. This reality is felt as we become more and more convinced that spirit responds to us. I say this in love. If you're wondering why you're not experiencing what you are praying for, it again, because that many, and I notice this in myself, and I've noticed this in others, is that a lot of times is that unless the words correspond to bringing up a belief in you that you already have it, again, I've seen it in practitioners and even some students. So get specific. If you don't know the specific words, again, look them up on the internet. You may use AI, as some have used to do spiritual mind treatment. But to use this, to be specific, it's okay to ask for money. It's okay to ask for a home. It's okay to treat for an automobile. Understand, though, that it's not just the physical that you're treating for, it's the feeling behind it. What would the house give you? What would the automobile give you? What would the money give you? That's, again, if I handed it to you, let's say you were praying for money and I, out of the blue, I just handed it to you. How would you feel? That's the feeling that you need to take into your daily life and embody. All right. 399, my favorite paragraph. 399-2. If one, like you and I, were to make a complete mental picture of themselves as they would like to be, filling in all the details of his or her desire, and trying to accept the whole thing as a present reality, he or she would soon demonstrate that the control of affairs is from within, from without, and the control of affairs is from within out and not from without. The cause being that whatever exists as a mental picture in mind must tend to and finally does take the form if the picture is really believed in and embodied. If we would take time daily. Now, you have homework. You have homework. want you to list down all the things in your life that you're either unhappy about, or some of the things in your life that you're not. And just be honest with yourself. This is just the way it is. Love yourself, because on some level is that you have attracted. Now, again, I'm very careful about this with like sickness or dis-ease, is that, again, that we may have not purposely brought it about. But again, if we start using equivalents of health and start going into saying that, again, okay, this is what I have now. What I'm choosing again. I'm choosing again. I'm choosing again. This is not about fault or blame. This is about knowing the truth. This is about healing our lives. 399, paragraph 3. We should be careful to distinguish daydreaming and wistful wishing from really dynamic and creative treatment. When we treat, we do not wish, we know. We do not dream, we state. We do not hope, we accept. We do not pray, we announce. We do not expect something is going to happen. We believe that it already has happened. We should think clearly and allow the image of our thoughts to sink into a subjective state. So, one of the steps of treatment is step 0. Step 0 is becoming still, turning within, knowing that, again, that you are one with this one presence. So relaxing the physical body really helps, again, in getting in touch with the subjective mind. Our individual subjective mind is our place in the universal creative law and immediately connects us with limitless power and energy. You have limitless power and energy here, but we must use it. And how do we use it? Again, daily. To take the practice that is said on 399 and actually do it. And I'll read that paragraph over again. If you were to make a complete mental picture of you as you would like to be, filling in all the details of your desire, and then trying to accept the whole thing as a present reality, you would soon demonstrate that the control of affairs is from within out and not from without. The cause being that whatever exists as a mental picture in mind must tend to and finally does take the form if the picture is believed in and embodied. We'll read a couple more paragraphs and then we will do some spiritual mind treatment. How about that? So if you have a last minute question, would love to try to tackle it this evening or this morning. Again, I'm so glad that you're with us here. I'm so glad that you give yourself the gift of spending time with us, whether live or in the future. Spending time with this powerful, universal teaching that doesn't care if you're a Hindu, Christian, Buddhist, even an atheist. If you believe in yourself, if you believe in the creative power in you, then again, that you can use this for the betterment of your life. 401, it says, we must consciously know that we can use creative power. The more completely such acceptance on our part, the more completely that we shall be able to use the power for definite purposes. We should develop a conscious conviction of our ability to know and to understand the way that the mind works. We shall not be able to do this while we listen to those who would deny us, or themselves the privileges that we wish to enjoy. No one ever yet found a living soul in a dead body, or learned that affirmations of life and health will become beneficial by denying any power to them. And again, if at times we doubt our ability to use the law, we should again remind ourselves that it is not I that does the work. It is truly the Spirit of the Father in me that doeth the work. This will straighten out our thought and place us again on the road of faith and understanding. Again, Ernest Holmes getting out his highlighter. He says, we must believe. We must learn how to believe. We should treat ourselves until we do believe. No one ever started at the top. Let us be happy to begin right where we are and grow. You are encouraged to read that chapter over. Next week, we'll have another, I think it's Reverend Mark Gilbert will be with you next week to talk more about, again, his thoughts about the general summary. But you don't have to wait for Mark. You don't have to wait for me. You don't have to wait for Dr. Brzezinski. Read this over. Start applying it now. Start applying it now. Start applying it now. Do not settle. Do not settle. Apply it now. Let's pray. And as we do so, we know that we enter into that place of the Most High that's within us. That place of Spirit of God, of life, knowing that there is only one presence, one power, one life, one activity that is everywhere present, everywhere powerful, everywhere all-knowing, everywhere active. And we are the personalized expression of that. Those watching are personalized expressions of the divine. In the divine, we live and we move and we have our being. We are one with it. It is one with us. We allow ourselves just to bathe in that, know that we are one with this one presence and power, this one life, this one activity of good. So I speak my word for the collective here. I know that my highest self now directs this prayer as I speak my word for the collective here. I just now know that the inner teacher within them now guides and directs them this week. That's something that we have said here has awakened within them the divine, the Christ within them this week. I just know that they do put this into practice, into conscious practice, into conscious awareness. I speak the word of again, freedom, of knowing that we are free, of knowing that the only prison doors that we have are those of our own mind. So knowing that we now just kick open the doors, we know that they are nothing, neither a person, place, or thing. We just allow ourselves now to experience the good of our lives, whether it be money, whether it be health, whether it be all of them. We allow ourselves to experience more good in our lives. Yes. And I just now know, and I pray a blessing over each and every person. I just now know that the divine life of God in them, through them, and as them goes with them throughout their week. And the divine teacher within them, again, continues to instruct them on the spiritual way, on the spiritual path, on the path of love. So for all of this, I just give great thanks. And I just now know that this word goes forth now to do its perfect work. I accept it now. I accept it as fact now. And so if you agree with me today, please say with me. And so it is. And so it is. New Thought Media Network. Positively inspiring. Thank you for sharing today. I wonder who that New Thought Media Network. See, now it's my boss, the Reverend Dr. Robert Brzezinski. So say nice things. say nice things to him so that I can come back. It just really has been a real pleasure of being with you today. And again, if you would like any help at all, again, ways of getting a hold of us is info@ntmedia.org or prayer@ntmedia.org. Those are the two addresses that we do look at on a regular basis. And again, we are here for you. We love you. We are here again to release the chains that bind you. And the chains that bind you, again, has been mistaken belief. Has been because that you believed in separation. So that's the work of the practitioner. That is the work of the minister. That is your work. Is again to know that you are one with it and it is one with you. All right. What a great honor again to be here with you today. Again, thank you. Thank you, Wayne. Oh, Canada. Oh, Canada. Absolutely. And I love to pray. Well, I do too, Wayne. Yes. All right. So on behalf of the Reverend Dr. Robert Brzezinski and our staff here at the New Thought Media Network, all of our ministers and practitioners here who love you so deeply that they have dedicated their lives again to getting this message out to you. I am the Reverend Michael Mangus, and I'm going to wish you a very pleasant and a wonderful week. Bye now.
Come expand your spiritual journey. Join us for Just the Talk. Sundays, 1 p.m. to 6 p.m. Mountain Time. Experience Unity Kitchener and Ottawa. Center for Spiritual Living Midtown. Center for Spiritual Living Denver. Unity of Garden Park. New Thought Philadelphia. The Sunshine Cathedral. Unity of Savannah. And the Ohm Center for Spiritual Living. Come unleash your spiritual potential with New Thought Media Network.